Wow, it's actually you! Howie Mandel, how are you? How'd you know where I lived? Are you sure this is gonna work? Alright. Hey, yeah, it's really me! Is that how he talks? Are you certain? I just came on by to say that I really enjoy your show and that I have a special game for you to review. No deal, Howie.
Your fingers are always pointing at me no matter how I move this box.
Oh yeah! I wanted to make the game as terrifying as physically possible for anyone who was even thinking about buying it.
Deal or No Deal Secret Vault Games was created by Cat Daddy Games, who are most well known for creating the Carnival Games series for the Wii, and it was published by 2K Play, the company's budget division, in, I think, 2007? There's not really any clear date anywhere. The game contains 20 minigames, none of which are actually the game show itself. They're all just based on the game show in some amount, which really, if that means anything, means they're all going to be based on luck in some form. So I guess we're just gonna jump right in. We just gotta install it first. Who is she? I mean, she follows us all around the installer, so I'd really like to know her name. Yeah. Auto install is fine. Wait a second.
What did you do to my desktop?
I made it better. Deal or no deal. Copyright. Endemol User 2007 makes everything better.
I mean, if it gets me on TV.
Anyway, once you get the game installed, you can check for updates that don't exist. Who would want to update this game anyway? You can look at the developer's website, which won't load. I had to actually Google it to get there. Or you can read the README, which is an Excel document for no particular reason. I mean, isn't everything in boxes easier to read? Can we just get this over with? When you start the game, you can choose between playing a set number of minigames, randomly chosen in a row, or you can choose which minigame you want to play, or you can check the options, which, by the way, have no way to change the game to window mode, or you can look at the credits if you wanted to do that. For our purposes, we're just going to play a show with the recommended number of games. That should be enough to figure out what we're going for. Why not play the short tournament? I mean, you did say you wanted to get this over with. Howie, I at least want to do you some justice in this review. We'll go with your choice. There she is again! Who is she? Anyway, into the vault, press the button past the girl with the dead face who has been locked to a fate of being stuck in this vault for all eternity, and she opens the door and reveals the blatant green screen behind her model.
Just down this hallway and through our secret vault entrance, you're gonna get a taste of what only the most adventurous gamers get to experience. You will need to muster up all your gaming skills to become a top champion of the Deal or No Deal Secret Vault Games.
Oh, yeah, man. I just finished playing through Secret Vault Games, that Deal or No Deal game. It was so hard. Mom! I wanted Mountain Dew! You didn't give me Mountain Dew!
Look, it's been like 5 hours since I've written that joke, and I want to apologize. That's a bad joke, and I'm really sorry you had to sit through that. So this sets up the general stage for this game. Choose a case, get a game, win money, repeat 8 times. Let's get started.
In this game, you can start anywhere you like on the board. Once you've picked an arrow, you will then only be able to pick arrows that are immediately around where you last picked. Each arrow you pick will contain a random money amount. The number of arrows you will need to clear before moving on to the next round is displayed on the tower to the left. The trick here is that once you've removed an arrow, you can no longer pick one that points to an already picked spot, or you will bust. The arrows also rotate every 3 turns, so be careful not to work yourself into a corner. Let's get started.
So it's just RNG then. It's always RNG. Shut up, Howie!
Where
And it plays exactly how Howie says it does. Every so often, Howie gives you the option to face a harder board or keep your money, utilizing incredibly inhuman animations every time he does so. Nothing here to comment on, thankfully, except for the fact that one of these crowd noises is clearly taken straight from Dance Dance Revolution.
Final stage!
Nice choice.
Well, I mean, thank you, but that was my only option.
Nice work. The banker is getting pretty nervous about how much you're winning.
I mean, if you're nervous about $2,000, just you wait. Howie's wrist also completely dislocates in this animation.
Deal or no deal? You follow like a pro.
Oh, that's the first thing they teach you at Game Show College. You gotta compliment the most brain-dead things so the contestant gets their egos super overblown and they mess it all up later. Which, thankfully, I don't do, but instead I choose to stop after earning about $50,000, mostly because I want to get out of this game. Next up is Pyramid Scheme, a game in which you choose cards that have numbers on them. When you place these cards in the pyramid, a card above 2 numbers has to be higher than both of them in order for a move to be legal. More luck, although this time it comes with an incredibly stereotypical sound every time you place a card. Hey, do you know how much money we spent on that sound? Howie, you've been off TV for 3 years now. I can say what I want to. After that comes Cross the Banker, a game in which you have to make a vertical line before the banker AI makes a horizontal line to win. I'm pretty sure this is a game people played as kids on graph paper, but hey, we have 20 minigames to fill! Also, the banker is complete garbage at this.
The banker is offering to let you keep your money from that round if you walk away now. Sounds like a good deal to me.
Howie, how much were you paid to voice act for this game? $5! Sounded like a good deal to me, so I took it. Up next is Stuck with the Bill, a game in which you can take any number of boxes horizontally or vertically to not get stuck with the last one, despite the positive connotations of being stuck with money. The sound effects for choosing money are also quite possibly the most annoying things ever crafted.
Seems like the banker may win.
Lesson 2 of Game Show School was always to state the obvious. Up next is High-Low, a game in which you pick 2 cases and choose if the next will be higher or lower than the previous one. You get $25,000 for each correct answer. Compared to $3,000 being a good deal earlier, this game is weighted way higher than the others. The crowd sound effects just stack here with every correct answer you give too, so that gets mildly weird. After messing up that game horribly, up next on the docket is Dice or No Dice, which is just Yahtzee but worse.
You might want to hold some if they look good.
Dude! Are you seeing how good looking these dice are? Yeah, man. I'd rate that one right there a perfect 10.
Oops, the banker has that dice. It's now out of play.
What do you mean, oops? I pressed the roll button and now I've lost a majority of my dice. Hey, that was your fault. You were the one who pressed the roll button. Okay, yeah, I think I'm about done here. Jesus Christ, that's loud! Next is Wait and See, a game where you have to match a certain number that is unknown on a scale to win whatever is there, which often ends up being much less than you put on the scales. Like $300,000 plus less than you put on the scales. Oh yeah, we make sure the cases are worth a lot of money. Lastly, we have Money Market, a game in which you bid money on mystery money values in cases to add to your total, and whoever has more money landing in their pockets at the end of the game gets to keep it. There's a lot more smaller values than larger values though, so it's almost always better to just ramp up the prices against the banker in the early game so he loses a bunch of money, than to outbid him in the late game when the pool is thinner and it's more likely that the cases actually contain something of worth. The banker has an advantage over you though. He gets to bet in entirely arbitrary numbers that you can't bet in.
Well, the banker out-auctioned you, and that has busted you.
The third thing they teach you at Game Show School is that sometimes you need to say some things that aren't true at all so you fake the contestant out. You know, this whole situation is how I feel about this game in general, to be honest.
Secret Vault Games just kind of goes on like this. Every game is about pushing your luck in some way, shape, or form, and nothing really goes on to change this, so I don't really feel like I need to go any further than this tournament. Secret Vault Games gets a 0. Wait! You haven't played my Pride and Joy of the Collection yet. I spent hours working on this one minigame with no help from anyone else. Please play it. I mean, if you're that adamant about it, let me just roll back.
Howie, this is Minesweeper. Please just play it.
Keep an eye out. You never know where those banker squares are lurking. The banker square is close. There are 3 banker squares on the playfield. Banker squares. Banker square is banker square, banker square, and banker squares, banker squares. Banker squares, banker square, banker squares, banker squares, banker squares, banker squares.
And, in fact, while I'm at it, I just want to apologize for the rest of this episode, because it's also hot garbage. This is the worst script I think I've ever written, but I made it in 24 hours. So there you go.